Hola amigos!
Have you ever played a video game before? Do you like the game if it has good graphics, stories, and sound? When you're watching a film in a theater, do you rate it based on a great combination of the story, quality in videography and sound? These films and video games are great examples of multiple media, or widely known as multimedia.
Excuse me, mister. I am lost and confused at this place.
Why?
There are so many things that I think are unexplainable here. Like the touchy black flat structures that create something amazing. It feels like I'm in the wrong world.
Oh, that's real bad. But I can offer help if you want.
Thanks. So, where do we go?
Vamos, sígueme, mi amigo. What you see in those flat-like structures is what we call multimedia.
Multimedia? What is it?
In this video, you will learn more about multimedia, its definition, components, types, uses, stages of production, and multimedia's advantages and disadvantages. Multimedia simply means more than one medium. It is a way for us to receive information of combined text, visuals, sound, interactivity, and other components. Since text is the main mode of communication, all other media modalities have merely supplemented its informative capability. The advancement of technology has made these things possible, thus creating multimedia. The visual media aided text in recreating a more textured or enhanced experience of information consumption. Camera-captured pictures or images, as well as hand-drawn ones like sketches, diagrams, portraits, or graphics, have helped the text express more ideas and stimulated audience reception of the information. You probably remember yourself having to prefer books with pictures rather than those which are text-heavy. Sometimes, you even prefer pictures with colors rather than those in grayscale. This is why desktop publishing has been invented, to be able to put together static elements such as text and images. Technology has further made it possible to incorporate audio or sound. Marshall McLuhan claimed that media is an extension of the human body. Thus, you relate better with media if the media you are using heightens your senses. Sound media is composed of recorded music, human speech, and other sound effects that make your consumption of information more authentic or realistic. That is why surround sound is popular among movie theaters because audiences prefer near-to-reality sounds. Motion media is also utilized especially when there is a need to present in moving pictures in certain content that text, images, or sounds may not be able to accurately capture and present. Also, multimedia is nonlinear. Nonlinearity, in this sense, refers to being able to navigate from one point in a presentation to another at any given time without being restricted of the chronological or logical sequencing of the content of the multimedia presentation. Unlike simple visual media or motion media that rely on the predefined sequencing of the content, multimedia can change the sequencing or even the timing of the content. When you are asked to prepare a multimedia presentation like this, you are actually asked to present a material in a digital format, where you can creatively put together different components to maximize the experience of your audience. This video is a perfect example of multimedia. We merge text, graphics, images, videos, and animations for you to understand the topic creatively. Practically, you can use multimedia to share any kinds of information that you wish to be shared. And always remember that the viewers of your multimedia presentation is also called your target audience. But before planning to produce a multimedia presentation, you must know first its components, types, and uses. Text is called as the main mode of communication since it has its flexibility in presenting information on screen. Text is used and team up with media modalities to deliver proper functionality. It can express specific information or act as reinforcement for information contained in other media items. Its transparency in conveying ideas gives us a good multimedia presentation. The second component of multimedia is the images. These digital images appear in many multimedia applications and presentations. Digital photographs can display application content or can alternatively form part of a user interface. Digital image files uses variety of formats and file extensions. And the most common image formats are JPEGs and PNGs. The third component is audio. Audio and streams play a major role in multimedia. Audio appears as a part of application content and also to aid interaction. It sets the mood of your target audience and may be used to catch their attention. The fourth component is video. Video appears in many multimedia applications, particularly on the web. As with audio, websites can stream digital video to increase the speed and the availability of playback. Common digital video formats include Flash, MPEG, AVI, WMV, and QuickTime. Most digital video requires the use of browser plugins to play within web pages, but in many cases, the user's browser will already have the required resources installed. And the last component is the animation. Animated components are common within both web and desktop multimedia applications. Animations can include interactive effects, allowing users to engage with the action using the mouse and keyboard. Animation can leave a great impression to your presentation. With all this combined to multimedia accordingly, expect a great presentation. Multimedia is considered as a good multimedia presentation if the different modalities are used together or integrated as a single media modality. The single modality must be controlled from within the framework of the presentation. This means that one modality may be disabled. For example, the audio may be put on mute or may be increased or decreased, or it is enabled. For example, is that the video may play in loop. Multimedia modality empowers you as a user to define your experience of the content that you are offered. The different modalities taken individually enhance human senses, except perhaps for the sense of smell. An example is the visual media enriching the basic textual media. The sense of touch is increasingly becoming integrated by touchscreen or haptic capabilities of technologies. The second thing that you must learn is that multimedia is classified into two types: the interactive and non-interactive multimedia. Interactive multimedia is a two-way communication in which the audience can input text or sounds through pressing the buttons on your keyboard or analog sticks. It is also an active form of entertainment. The multimedia modality is very applicable to the new media because of this attribute. Best example for interactive multimedia is a video game, because it requires the participation of the users. It uses text to imply the storyline, combination of graphics, and sounds to maximize the gaming experience of the users. Interactivity provides users more leeway for feedback and more participation in the creation and improvement of the multimedia content. But interactive multimedia is also widely used, not just in games, but also in business. Businesses are especially interested in using multimedia as a tool since they can exploit for advertising and the like. An interactive media, such as multimedia modality, allows the users to get more involved not just in the content production, but also in sharing the multimedia information to others. In education, multimedia can create an environment within the presentation where the learner can give inputs and ask the system to provide certain outputs or feedback. That is why you would expect multimedia presentations to be part of your class lectures or activities. These rest on what previous studies have shown about the amount of information human beings can capture from what they are exposed to. 20% from what is read, 40% from what is seen or heard over an extended period of time, and 80% from what is asked to be done. In other words, when user involvement is increased, retention is also increased. That is why multimedia is popular among developers of e-learning tools. The second classification of multimedia is non-interactive multimedia. Non-interactive multimedia is only a one-way interaction. It is also frozen and can only be watched. The audience are only observers, and because it is frozen, they are incapable of altering the experience directly. Unlike interactive multimedia, non-interactive is a passive form of entertainment. Films and dramas are examples of non-interactive multimedia. It is non-interactive because films, on the first place, is recorded. Thus, the actors doesn't know the reactions of the viewers. We can also experience non-interactive multimedia if you are watching a PowerPoint presentation, TV series, ads, and Korean novellas. Either interactive or not, did you know that multimedia modality is digital? Thus, it enables you to instantly access portions of a stored data. This is because of the rotation and the radial movement of the read or write in random access storage devices such as CDs and DVDs. The analog format of video and audio media enables the recording of data in magnetic tapes. Thus, the data may only be played back according to the sequence of the data in the magnetic tape. For example, back in the day, you can only rewind and forward tapes at a limited rate and at predefined moments, and thus, your access of the data gets delayed. These days, you can watch and listen to digitally stored video and music and play them at any given point of time by merely pointing the cursor at the control and moving the dial back and forth. Many of the analog formats are increasingly converted to digital format in a process called digitalization to facilitate more efficient storage and access of data. Digitalized data can be edited, compressed, and transferred with ease. Thus, users can make as many presentations as possible. Because of high demands of multimedia nowadays, its relevance changes depending on the various fields, contexts, and careers. That is the third thing you must remember, that multimedia's uses are based on what field it is in. For example, at home, what is the use of multimedia? It is of course for entertainment. We use it in computer games which has high amount of interactivity involved, and on audio-video systems like watching a movie or TV, which enables the users to specify the movies that they would like to watch, not simply by their names, but by the host of other criteria. Multimedia can also be used in educational purposes like computer-based trainings or CBT, and simple multimedia presentations that are used by teachers as a tool for teaching. On information kiosks like multimedia product catalogs, information is accessed through a touchscreen and viewed on a monitor. During corporate presentations, multimedia emphasizes the salient features and activities of a company, its products, and its business partners by incorporating multimedia elements along with textual descriptions. Towards the fields of business, its products are displayed through multimedia presentations which give space, inventory, and distribution. On the fields of tourism and travel industry like package tours, a multimedia system implementing an intelligent travel agent software would enable the user to specify his or her travel needs and budget and then ask the system to find places and satisfy these requirements. When we do electronic shopping, multimedia customized presentations for consumer, and industrial products are immensely useful to e-commerce practices. It can be useful in providing after-sales services, and it can also suggest simple steps for troubleshooting. On the fields of communication and networks, multimedia allows real-time interactions between people who need to work together but cannot be at the same place at the same time. It can also provide social benefits like conservation of natural resources and reduction in pollution levels as unnecessary travel is eliminated. On the fields of medicine like high-quality magnetic resonance 3D images, archives of X-ray images, CT scans, and ultrasonography images, multimedia is used for complicated surgical procedures. It enables doctors to provide better consultations and could serve as an expert system. It can also help in the continuous growth of telemedicine. During engineering applications, a multimedia like computer-aided design or CAD and computer-aided manufacturing or CAM enables engineers to develop software representations of products from various viewpoints, rotate, scale, and move parts and portions, zoom in critical parts, and try out various combinations before deciding on final product implementation. Now that you already know the types, uses, and components of multimedia, I think you are so much ready to create a multimedia presentation. The fourth thing that you must know is that there are 6 stages of production in a multimedia presentation, and it is planning, script writing, storyboarding, designing, editing, and production. A multimedia production can't be done by a person. It takes effort of a team to create a good multimedia presentation. Planning is the most crucial part of multimedia process, since it is mainly about molding the idea of what you want to do in your presentation. The major goals or objectives of the production are mostly tackled at this stage so that you will not go off track. The second stage is script writing. Most multimedia presentations have a story behind them. After the initial meeting, the people in charge of the background story write a script, creative belief, or outline. The text hits the main points of the project and uses language that appeals to the audience in jargon, tone, and style. The third stage is storyboarding. Storyboarding ties everything together. A storyboard panel for a scene includes a sketch of the visual elements, the voiceover or the title text, and any production notes. It guides the process, keeps everyone in check, and gives structure to the project. The fourth stage is designing. During the design stage, designers take over the visual aspects of the project to determine how it looks and feels. Using the notes from the storyboard, they create graphics, design the navigation, and give direction to photographers and videographers regarding to the correct shots. And the fifth stage is editing. Editing is one of the most involved and complex stages of multimedia development process. The people responsible for editing turn the various pieces into a cohesive product, taking into consideration the time constraints, storyline, and creative specifications. Depending on the scope of the project, pieces of presentation may be edited separately. For projects with a large amount of video, editing is often the longest stage of process. Example for this is that a 1-minute final video can take hours of editing. The sixth stage is production. The production stage is when all the parts of multimedia presentations come together. In this stage, gathers all the edited assets in one place and puts them together in a logical sequence, using the storyboard as a guide. The rough draft is then put through the rounds of review and final edits. To ensure that the project has the desired impact for the target audience, a company may engage in user testing as a part of production. After user testing, there are usually further adjustments to the project. Once the team is satisfied, the presentation is ready to be watched by the audience. Through the advancement of our technology, multimedia has come this far and continues to evolve to make a better tool for disseminating information. This is the fifth thing that you must know about multimedia. What are the advantages and disadvantages of multimedia? We can say that there are numbers of things that are its advantages. Multimedia brings more light to discussions. The creativeness of multimedia makes the audience more eager to watch and listen. And because it is combinations of such, it caters all types of learners. It also offers ideal learning assessment tools which are also entertaining for the students. And the current trend of culture leads toward technology, and a great number of resources are being made available for different media formats. But like any other things, multimedia has also its disadvantages. Since multimedia requires electricity, it may not be available to some rural areas or may not be consistently available due to shortages or blackouts. Multimedia may also take away the focus from the lesson due to its attention-grabbing formats. Since it is made up of more than one medium, productions may be costly than others. There is a variance of gadget modules which give us a great chance of incompatibilities of the media formats. Multimedia requires consistent and long practice to master, which may take a lot of time and energy from the user. Also, creating multimedia is very time-consuming. A minute of a video will take hours to be created. That is why making a multimedia presentation can be a tough job. But also remember, once it's all done, all those hardships that you've gone through will all be worth it. I think that is all I wanted you to know about multimedia. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.